Well, here we are in Louisville, Texas, and I have gathered a few friends, teenage friends here from the area, and we're going to have a nice conversation. We're going to talk particularly about how parents and teenagers can get along better and really partner instead of being always, at odds with each other. We're going to do that. So why don't we introduce ourselves? I'm Ed Miller, and I'm leading this little discussion. Who else do we have with us tonight?
My name's Sam.
Sam, tell me one thing that you like to do, Sam.
I love acting.
Acting.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been in one of his films yet?
I have.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Let's go right.
I'm Taylor.
What do you like to do, Taylor? What are you good at or like to do or anything like that?
I shoot my target competitively.
Ooh, competitive, serious.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, awesome. Great. Next.
I'm Ashley, and I like reading.
Reading, anything particular?
No, just pretty much everything.
Fiction, nonfiction?
Both.
Both.
Mythology.
Mythology. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. There's a lot of moms that are going to be watching this, and I think they're going to be very intrigued and interested in what we're doing. They're going to be interested in hearing what you guys have to say. I've gone through a real change in my life recently. I'm 63 years old. I've spent most of my life in coaching of one form or another. Sports coaching, coaching wrestling, coaching baseball, coaching tennis. But I've coached college students through InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. Been involved with coaching leaders, coaching people to study the Bible, share their faith, various things like that. And I've always been involved with middle school and high school kids too, doing some of the same things. Mentoring, I'd call that mentoring more, but it's coaching. Most recently, I've been involved with coaching parents, working with parents to help them deal with their kids in more helpful and healthy ways. We focus particularly on the heart, not just worrying about behavior, but getting to the root of motivations and things like that. Well, I was doing a lot of that last fall, traveling all over the country, speaking, was here in Texas, and after Christmas, I crashed. I really crashed. Now, that's not unusual. I crash every once in a while. About a week later, I'm okay. I'm ready to go again. I just couldn't get out of it this time. Just could not pick myself up. Finally, I'm blessed with many friends and coaches and people that care for me. My wife and many other folks. They said, Ed, you need to go see somebody and get some help. It's not particularly easy for a guy to do, maybe at least a guy my age. It's not particularly easy to do that, but I did. And I went to see my doctor, my primary care first, and she tried to help a little bit, and then she said, you need to see a psychiatrist. Oh boy, okay. All right, so I did. And he says, Mr. Miller, you have acute anxiety disorder, and you're depressed. I said, lovely, okay. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to have you see a therapist, and we're going to put you on some medication. Now, it's going to take a while. You have to be patient. I said, oh, again, lovely. You got to be patient while we find the right medication, the right dose. Wow. Throughout this process, I started researching depression, anxiety, because it turns out I've been depressed for most of my life. I just did not know it. I didn't know what was going on. I was functioning pretty well. At times I would kind of get really down, but now I know that, boy, I needed, especially as I got older, I needed some help. My brain needed some help, needed some changes. Now I'm on medication that's really helping. But as I studied this, I realized this is an epidemic. There are lots of people that have anxiety of all ages, lots of people that are depressed, people that are committing suicide at alarming numbers, and it's worst with you guys in your age. It's growing, it's getting crazy epidemic. That's because there's a lot of challenges. Growing up has always been hard, going from being a child to being an adult. Always been hard. It's just harder than anybody can imagine right now. For some people, worse than others, obviously, but it's tough. Lots of things make it tough. A lot of the changes in technology are wonderful, and they make it tough as well. Anxiety, trying to get people to like me all the time. We spend a lot of our time on Facebook or Instagram or texting. Always trying to get people to like me. Am I measuring up? Do I have people that care about me? Am I worthwhile? Or maybe you're trying to compete to get into a particular college, get good grades. You're trying to achieve something your parents want, or there's so many things. I thought rather than me just talking about it, I thought you guys would each share with the folks, what do you think's hard? What's hard in your life?
Okay, well, one of them, they kind of topple onto each other. One of them is that if I make a mistake, my parents will kind of hold it to me forever. They don't do that, like, on purpose. It's just a whole, they won't let me do things that I've done before because I made a mistake. And then the whole, I'm faced with adult situations, but you're treating me like I'm 5. And that's kind of where I feel the imbalance of, like, I don't think they fully realize what's happening, because when I'm telling them that's like happening at like other schools, they're like, oh my gosh, it's never happened to us. And I'm like, yeah, that it's happening now. And it's,
Yep.
that's basically it.
Thank you for sharing that, Taylor. Yeah, I get it. Ashley.
Probably just like stress, just like, I don't know, like stress to like stay popular and stress to like get into the right colleges and like get good grades and just stress in
Yeah.
general.
Am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to be able to do it? That's stress. It's a lot of stress. Thank you for sharing that too. Let's talk about some ways that we can change things. The book I'm writing is going to be called something like Get a New Life in 60 Days, something like that. And it's going to be based on 3 ideas, 3 pathways that if we travel on these pathways, we are going to make great progress and change things in our lives. Now, you can't change everything because you can't change other people. You can't change your parents. You can change yourself and hope that your parents get somebody in their life who can speak to them, that they can listen to, and they can make changes, because we all need to change. Here's 3 pathways. The first one is the pathway of connection. A lot of us are dealing with a lack of real deep connection. I think for all the benefits of all the things that we have, all the technology we have that helps us be connected on a certain level, we can interact and text. We don't have really, it's hard to have really deep connection. Really meaningful stuff that knowing I am valued. I am deeply valued. It's hard to do that through text. It's hard to do that on social media. So we need to find better ways. Parents have a hard time connecting. They don't understand. They don't understand the world that you guys are living in. A lot of it, they don't understand some of the pressures. They don't understand your desire for independence. They just don't quite get it a lot of times. And so they need some help in learning how to get it. We need to be able to talk to each other. We need each other. One of my goals is to try to help parents and teens understand how much they need each other and find new ways. So the first one is connection. I'm going to ask Madeline if she'll come up here. Madeline's going to actually say a few things. She's doing something we're going to try to avoid this kind of stuff, yelling at each other, getting aggravated, not really communicating, but not really. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to build connection.
Well, I have an organization called Unplugged Family, in which I encourage parents mainly, because kids are not listening to me, but parents mainly to unplug from the stuff and connect to who matters, and who matters being God and people. So I just give parents practical ways in which to make just those pockets of time and space in their daily life so that there's room to connect, to do the eye to eye, to do the heart-to-heart.
Great. And you've also worked with my friend Keith Dortch, who's developed the Communication Cure
Right.
and Meaningful Talk, right?
Right, right. So Meaningful Talk is an experiential online tool that Keith Dortch, a psychotherapist based in Colorado, developed. And this tool, it's truly amazing. He wanted to replicate the transformation and the connection that happened in his therapy sessions, but he wanted people to be able to do that at home. So he got a neuroscientist to select a voice and music that would ask a series of questions that would calm the brain. And so parent and child or parent and teen can be at home together, and then or spouses, husband and wife, and then this voice is gonna ask certain questions that kind of wouldn't be received the same way because of our tone, because of our history, because of whatever's happened before. But this works. It's in 15 or 20 minutes you create connection. And he calls it something about mirror neurons, like our brain. It's science-based. And it works. I've used it with my son and my husband and my child, and it's beautiful.
That's good. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to stop there, too. Take a little break. We're going to watch a video.
There you are, having a great day. Your pleasant, well-intentioned thoughts from the left side of your brain are wandering down that winding road toward your vocal cords. But before you say something, boom, stress hits. A blank stare from your teen, a low balance alert from your bank, a raised voice from your spouse, sharp words from a coworker, a sick child. Fill in the blank happens, and now those well-intentioned thoughts are overthrown by the emotional right side of your brain and become words that you never intended to utter. You don't say what you mean what you say, or stay mindful of others involved. After calming down and aware of the damage and disconnection caused, you wonder what happened and hope it doesn't ever happen again. But the very next time stress hits or your emotions are involved, you repeat the same destructive communication pattern. Now, you might think you're alone on this, but you're not. There's a communication epidemic in our culture, and the common yet ineffective attempt to remedy it has been to read a book, sit in a seminar, search the internet, or listen to someone else instruct you about your problem. But that rarely helps, because it's just information. And because information isn't what created the problem in the first place, secondary information is certainly not going to correct it. Repetitive verbal interactions that are harmful, left unchecked and untrained, will form toxic communication patterns. So purposeful, repetitive retraining in how you talk is necessary to reverse those patterns. We call it the Communication Cure. An interactive experience proven to reopen and strengthen your communication pathways and retrain your mind and heart to be honest, open, and loving. It's not a how-to program, and it doesn't require reading books or listening to CDs or doing complicated or contrived exercises. The Communication Cure is a multi-sensory experience that fully engages you to create brain-based, heart-level change in your life and relationships. And it's highly effective in building, restoring, and maintaining meaningful relationships, especially with the most important people in your life. Experiencing the Communication Cure will empower you to create safe environments to talk about anything, and it will retrain your abilities to listen and respond with love, so that open, honest, and heartfelt communication becomes second nature to you. The truth is, communication doesn't have to be complicated, life-draining, or difficult like it is for so many people. There doesn't have to be a communication epidemic in our culture, but the only way to change it is with the cure. The Communication Cure. Meaningful talk made easy.
All right, so the first pathway towards changing our life is the pathway that I like to call connection, working on really connecting. And meaningful talk is one of the main things that we like to use. The second pathway is character, and the way we like to work on this is what I call partnering for growth. Parents get into the habit with their kids when they're young of teaching, instructing, ordering, commanding, whatever, and they have a hard time transition. They don't make a change. We like to call, there are stages that everybody goes through, and you need to transition your parenting and do different things. And the older your kids get, the more you become a coach and less of an instructor, less of a commander. If you're going to help them really get ready for adulthood and help them slowly begin to take more and more independence. The other thing that we work on partnering for growth, because one of the jobs of a parent is to help young people prepare for life. They tend to focus a lot on the education, the skills, the knowledge, and they don't focus as much on character. What really helps you deal with struggles in life is your character. Do you have strong character? Then you can deal with anything. So we like to work on character development a lot. And the way we do it is, go ahead, skip to the next slide. See what we got there. Next one. Next one. All right, skip that. That's the one. So we like to focus on what we call a map approach, so that we're going someplace. Point A is whatever is, there might be a presenting challenge or problem that we talked about. Parents like to get stuck there on the problem. Say, stop doing that. Don't do that. Rather than looking at point B, which is something positive. If I develop a character quality, it's going to help me deal with that problem. So I'm going to ask one of you guys to work with me, and we're going to demonstrate how this works. We're going to basically work all together. We'll do it pretty quickly. We're going to identify one of those challenges that you guys, whatever challenge you said, and then we're going to talk about a character quality that could help you, if you grew in that character quality, be helpful. It wouldn't take care of the problem totally, but be helpful. I'm going to show you how we do that. All right, we're going to work on a practical demonstration, something that's real, how we can do this, how we can work together at character development. Taylor has agreed to be the guinea pig for this. The way, for those parents who are listening to this, the way we like to work on this is we suggest that you have a meeting with your son or daughter and that you say, hey, my job is to help you grow and prepare you to be an adult. I want to do that effectively. I've noticed that there are a couple things happening in your life that maybe are, challenges for you, and I want to help you with that. And so ideally the parent would listen and try to really hear what their son or daughter would say. We're going to focus on a particular thing. It seems like you feel like your parents are controlling. They're trying to protect you, they're trying to help guide you, but they seem to do it in a way maybe that's controlling.
Yeah, in my eyes.
Yeah?
It could. Probably not for them at least, but that's me. That's what it feels like.
It feels like that to you. That's good. So if it feels like that to you, that's valid. We want to help now. We want to work on what can you do? What character quality can you develop? And I've suggested that honor, to growing as a person of honor, helping to honor your parents, in a sense, win them over through kindness, win them over through treating them with great honor, and trusting that God's going to then help them to open up. So we're going to talk about how a parent, I'm going to be like your parent, and we're going to develop a plan. First thing we do is we just brainstorm. We're going to list a bunch of possible things that could happen to develop or to grow as a person of honor. Think about that for a minute. How could you do that? I got a bunch of ideas. You can put ideas on this list, and then what we're going to do over here, you're going to pick two things that you're going to try. Pick two things that you're going to try. You get to pick. That's key in this, is that you parents aren't picking. You are picking. And my job is to support you and encourage you. Then, in a week or so, we're going to have another meeting, and we're going to come back and say, how's it going? And if we need to improve it, change it, modify it, we'll modify it. We'll see how it's going. So what do you think? How could a person, feel free to chirp in, how can a person grow in honoring others? We're thinking. While you're thinking, let me add a couple things. So we say that honor is treating other people as special, doing more than what's expected, having a good attitude. I want to focus on just the first part. Treating other people as special. How do you treat other people as special? How do you do that? You think of ways that you've really done something for somebody else and they've really felt special and their heart gets all warm.
Maybe just like make them feel wanted, if that makes sense.
Make them feel wanted?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I mean, by just like taking more time out of your day to like talk to them and realizing that they had a long day too.
Just talking to them.
Yeah.
Just asking them. So I have a number of folks in my life that I'm either coaching or friends or I'm partnering with. And you know, it means an awful lot when somebody just asks you, how you doing? How's your day going? Wow. That just really means a lot to me. Just asking somebody, how you doing? That's a great way to honor. Let's put that one up. This is brainstorming, right? Where's the other marker? Just ideas. So ask somebody, how you doing? What else could we do to treat other people as special? I know that Madeline over here is a strengths coach. What could strengths coaches have to add to this, making other people feel special?
Or how they make you feel, or even if it's not going good now, how you have to remember a time when things were going good, when you were at your best, or when they were at their best, and point that out. So who are you at your best, and what's happening then?
I'm just going to say strengths. So, for instance, when's the last time any of you told your parents something you appreciate about them? That means a lot too.
Appreciate means thank you or like listing something out.
No, that's all. Mom, I really appreciate how hard you work. That's just an example. Something like that, or something that you appreciate.
Try it, for real, from the heart, and see.
Yeah, it's got to be real. It's no good if it's fake. Yes, it's got to be real. Something you actually really, it's focusing on the positives. We're brainstorming, just brainstorming. Anybody have another idea? I'm full of ideas, but somebody.
So I guess appreciation would be another point.
Well, similar. Okay, I'm going to call this one random acts of kindness. I try this every once in a while. So I'll be buying gas, and after I'm done buying gas, I give the attendant a $10 bill for no reason. It's a random act of kindness. You would not believe what happens when you do that. People just go, what? Thank you. They can't believe it. They can't.
Are you saying they pump gas for you?
What's that?
Are you saying they pump gas for you?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't do that.
I'm sorry. We don't pump our own gas in New Jersey.
Okay, we don't do that. They're like, what is that?
No, you don't have to do that. That's you wouldn't even understand that illustration, would you?
No,
But random acts of kindness. Do something for somebody else. Do something for your parents that would be unexpected. Kind of blows them away. That's honoring. My son, my wife and I were away on vacation. They were still home, and they decided they were going to clean the whole house before we get back. It was right before Christmas. They bought a Christmas tree. They put it up. They didn't decorate it because they know I like to decorate. But there was the Christmas tree in the corner. That was something that was not required. Nobody asked them to do it. They just did it. Boy, did that impact me. Wow. Any other thoughts? How can you honor somebody else? Any other ideas? I'll keep at it. Pray for them. Pray for them Other ideas?
Probably pray for you every day. Yeah.
We might. Yeah. Other thoughts? Okay. Any of those strike you as things that you'd want to try?
Well, like the appreciation, and that's what I need to do anyways. Looking back on it, it's what I really need to work on.
Okay. Appreciation. Put that over here. How about one more? Let's try. Might not work, might work.
You're into acts of kindness.
Okay. Okay. That's your plan for the next week. And I'm going to get back to you and find out how it's going. All right? We'll talk more about it. Great. That is one way to work on character development. It's partnership. It's partnership. I didn't give you a plan. I didn't tell you what plan to have. It's not my plan. It's your plan. That makes a huge difference. Most parents just don't know how to do this. They've never done anything like this before. It's great if it works. So 3 pathways, right? First pathway is, who remembers? First pathway? Connection. Second pathway? Character. Third pathway is coaching. Coaching. Madeline and I are involved now with this organization called SOAR. Go get SOAR.com. SOAR is trying to get coaches together with clients of all kinds, I am going to start a new type of coaching called family coaching, where I'm going to train people to come into a family situation where something's not going so well. Either the teenager, the young person says, I need help, or the parent says, I need help. And that coach comes in and works with both to try to work on these things that we just talked about. How to have better connection and how to partner in growth. I think everybody should have a coach. Every parent should have a coach. Every employee should have a coach. Every young person should have a coach. Somebody that you can talk to, be honest with, who isn't going to tell other people, going to keep it in confidence, and can be a friend. They can help guide you along the way. What kind of thoughts do you have about that? Anybody have a coach like that in your life? Let's do that first. Anybody have a coach like that?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
It would probably help me more later.
So does it resonate with you that would be a good thing?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the only thing is that, like, kids don't like listening to their parents. So if the parents are suggesting it, because that's just kind of our whole, I don't want to do what you want to do because I want to be my own self. And if you can find a way for, like, kids to, like, be on board with it, then probably be golden.
If you knew what you were coming to, and now you just went through it, would you still come? Would you come back?
Yeah.
Would you come? Okay, that's good enough. Because we're going to do a lot of events like this. I'm going to do events that are going to be, I'm going to try to get parents in the room as well with teenagers. All in the room together, learning. If your parents were here and would sit through this, and they would, I don't know what they would, I don't know your parents. I don't know what they would say. But I know some parents would say, oh yeah, I really do want to work on those things. I think it's worth a chance anyhow. I'm looking forward to it. I think that's good enough for tonight. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for taking some time.
Thank you.
Oh, pleasure.